This is the afternoon update. This is for Monday, the 28th of August. I'm James Spann. Needless to say, with what should be a hurricane in the Gulf by the time you watch this, that will be the focus. But we also got some active storms. In fact, a few severe thunderstorm warnings in effect across the state this afternoon. In fact, let's begin with the storm situation. That's the radar. We're live here at 2:34 on Monday, and we do note that we've got a few warnings in effect now. And again, the main issue today, like recent days, wet microbursts. Local areas of damaging straight-line wind. But you can see really the more active storms are over the southern two-thirds of the state. We'll check the warnings very quickly, and we'll get to the tropics. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for the southern part of Tallapoosa County down around Lake Martin. Severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Barber and Bullock counties in southeast Alabama. But again, all of these storms are capable of producing strong straight-line winds. And again, they seem to be a little more active over the eastern half of the state this afternoon, and those will settle down a little bit tonight. We might see some late-night storms lingering, and also some storms around tomorrow. That's a sign the ridge is certainly breaking down. And speaking of the ridge, there you go. The heights are much, much lower today. Heat levels are down, rain coverage up, visible satellite view. You can see those convective masses across the state. And yeah, temperatures look a lot better. Look at Haleyville, 76. Birmingham, 86. 92 at Tuscaloosa. But Mobile, come on, they need a break. It's 99. Goodness, it's been a hot summer on the Gulf Coast. Still a few counties in South Alabama under heat advisories. This is the severe weather outlook through tonight. There's a marginal risk. That's level 1 out of 5 from southeast Louisiana up through parts of Alabama into northern Georgia. And again, the main issue, strong straight-line winds, microburst potential. So tomorrow, as Idalia approaches the Florida coast, you can see we've got a risk of tornadoes, isolated tornadoes in the spiral bands on the east side of the circulation. And that tornado threat could begin as early as tomorrow afternoon. That will continue tomorrow night. And then on day 3, which is Wednesday, we've got a slight risk. And again, this is for the possibility of a few isolated tornadoes on the east side of the circulation of Idalia. There's a closer look at that. That slight risk, level 2 out of 5, covers places like Jacksonville, Savannah, and Charleston. And that's just one of the many hazards we have in association with the tropical system. Of course, a lot of rain as well. Some spots could see over 5-6 inches of rain. It should be moving at a pretty good clip. This will not be one of these tropical systems that sits there and stalls. It'll be moving, thank goodness. But still, there could be some freshwater flooding over parts of North Florida, parts of coastal Georgia, and coastal South Carolina on the east side of the circulation. Alabama, the amount's about 1 inch, and that's not directly related to the tropical system. That's with showers and storms in progress today and tomorrow. And Wednesday, the better chance of rain over southeast Alabama, and then the latter half of the week and the Labor Day weekend looking pretty dry. All right, tropics, 2 systems on the board, Franklin and Idalia. And we're not going to argue about how to pronounce Idalia. We've heard all kind of different types, but you know what we're talking about here. The importance is the message here. First off, by the way, we also do note there is a new wave coming off the coast of Africa a little later this week, and the Hurricane Center giving that a 50% chance of developing. And if that happens, that most likely gains latitude and probably will recurve. Should not be a threat to the United States. So really the 2 systems to watch are Franklin and Idalia. Franklin looks good. I mean, this thing is a powerhouse of a hurricane. Top winds are now 145 miles per hour. And this is stirring up a lot of nasty surf on the east coast of the United States, rip currents. And this will be passing between Bermuda and the United States tomorrow night, and then kicking out into the North Atlantic. No landfall expected, but again, rip currents on the east coast and also in the island of Bermuda. So let's focus on Idalia. And again, you can see this thing is trying its best to get its act together over the Yucatan Channel. And we're finally starting to see some motion to the north, and it seems like it's more vertically stacked this afternoon. And when that begins to happen, the intensification process can continue. This thing is almost a hurricane, and by the time you watch this, if you're not watching live, it probably will be. The next hurricane advisory comes out at 4 o'clock Central. And I'm doing this at 2:39 Central. That's the 1 o'clock intermediate advisory. Winds are at 70 miles an hour, and there's just no change in thinking. This should be a major hurricane at the time of landfall near Cedar Key early Wednesday morning. And again, remember, as you look at the maps here, the main impact will be along and to the right of the circulation center. And that, of course, would include much of the Florida Peninsula. And this thing will likely come pretty close to Jacksonville, maybe as a minimal hurricane still. By Wednesday afternoon, by Wednesday night, it's near Savannah. And then it moves up to near Charleston by early Thursday and then kicks back out to sea. Here's a look at the ATCF set. And again, the agreement is very good, in line with the NHC forecast. And as we've talked about for days, the biggest challenge in this hurricane business, it's not necessarily the track forecast, but the intensity forecast. And again, it would seem that tomorrow conditions would favor RI, rapid intensification. There'd be a little shear involved. There's been some shear involved today. But with those warm SSTs, you would think it would ramp up. The modeling not that aggressive. You got a couple, just two out of the members here that bring it up to a Category 3. Most have it at a Category 2 strength, and hopefully that'll be the case. But again, if you're in that hurricane warning zone, you have to plan for the worst-case scenario for a major hurricane. That's what it's forecast to be. This is the new HAFS model, Hurricane Analysis and Forecast System. And again, it's in good agreement with the NHC track. The track consistency here has been very good, and the track confidence is high. Still, could it change? Yes, we all know that. But the thing coming in near Cedar Key, that's Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock Eastern. And again, if you look at that, you can see that the Florida Panhandle's on the good side, the west side, offshore flow. And it'll be breezy, and there could be some rain, certainly showers around Panama City and Destin, but the big rain's well to the east. And the only issue really for the Panhandle rip currents, that would include the Alabama Gulf Coast. But the weather not that bad. The weather begins to deteriorate on Tallahassee and St. George Island. And as you go farther around the Big Bend, it gets awfully nasty in there. So again, one more time, if you're just joining us live, I'm doing this update at 2:41 this afternoon. Idalia is on the verge of becoming a hurricane. Still expected to be a major hurricane at the time of landfall Wednesday morning. And, of course, we do have a hurricane warning in effect. The area is there in red. And, again, that is from a point that's east of Indian Pass down to a point right below Tampa Bay. This does include Tampa Bay, the hurricane warning. And everybody in that red zone needs to be prepared for a major hurricane, and preparations obviously are ongoing as we speak. Here's a look at the storm surge potential. In red there, that's 7 to 11 feet. That's very significant. Tampa Bay, 4 to 7 feet. St. Petersburg, 4 to 7 feet. And then 3 to 5 feet down to Inglewood. And remember, these numbers could change, but that's the way it looks now. Let's go through modeling. Model fans, this is the GFS. This is the 12Z run, valid tomorrow at 4. Again, the trough, you can see through the eastern states. That's the reason Idalia is going to kick off to the northeast and not come due north. And with that trough around, that will bring the chance of showers and thunderstorms to the state, to Alabama. It's not going to rain everywhere. I know everybody needs rain, but like today, some folks are getting absolutely soaked with big storms. But cloudy at times, a few passing showers and thunderstorms likely. Highs 80s for North Alabama, low 90s for the southern counties of the state. So this is Wednesday. Idalia's in over South Georgia, not too far from Valdosta. And again, there could be some wind and rain showers, showery type weather for southeast Alabama, Dothan, Ozark, Eufaula. But again, Alabama's going to be on that good west side of the circulation. The better chance of rain on Wednesday, the southeastern part of the state. The high Wednesday will be in the mid-80s in many spots. And then Thursday, the tropical system is moving back out into the Atlantic, and we're in a dry continental air mass. Thursday should be a nice day. Sunny, not as humid, highs upper 80s. North Alabama, low 90s to the south. Friday looks good. Friday morning, we might see a few folks in the 50s up in the Tennessee Valley. And the Labor Day weekend looks pretty quiet. This is Saturday and this is Sunday, mostly sunny both days. Highs upper 80s, low 90s. And Labor Day, a week from today, Monday, September 4th, again, that looks rain-free. So the Labor Day weekend looking nice and quiet. Heat levels beginning to creep up as the ridge begins to rebuild. Let's go out 10 days. This is Thursday, September 7th. That old ridge is back. Not as strong as it was a few days ago, but still, we'll probably see highs up in the low 90s with a few scattered showers and storms about. Rain for Birmingham coming off the GFS ensemble, the mean between 1 and 2 inches between now and the 13th of September. Temperatures off the national blend of models. Now, this is for Birmingham. Again, if you're in a different part of the state, it might vary, but look at the 80s. Highs under 90 all the way through Sunday. And then low 90s Monday, Tuesday, and really most of next week. And 65, the coolest morning early Thursday. And maybe that's when we're going to see some 50s and cooler pockets. But hey, we all know it can be hot in September. It typically always is hot on days in September, and this is the latest guidance for September 5th through September the 11th, showing temperatures above average over the eastern two-thirds of the country as the ridge rebuilds, below average for the western states. And again, we'll check the tropical system again and the radar in just a second, but you know what I got to do? I got to roll some kid cam video. Whoa, what a crowd here. Woo, buddy, we had a packed lunchroom today. Bluntsville Elementary School, I mean, we packed them in. I love a big crowd like that, and they were just great today. Really good listeners. You know, some of the kindergarten kids, they're just starting school here, and they were just great. So attentive and respectful. And look at this cake. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good-looking cake right there. And these cookies, are you kidding me? How do they do this? I'm fascinated by the cake and cookie technology these days, but they gave me this set of cookies right here. That's just pretty remarkable stuff. But love coming to Bluntsville. Those kids were just so good today. So to all the teachers and the administrative staff and the students, thanks a lot for all of the hospitality earlier today up in Blount County, Alabama. So one more time here, we'll check the radar. We're live at 2:46 on Monday afternoon. And we've still got, looks like the warnings perhaps have expired over the eastern part of the state, but showers and storms are most active over the eastern half of the state. And with all of these storms, we have potential for microbursts, local areas of damaging straight-line winds. So just be aware of that. And it's really hard to warn for that. They're typically very short-lived type events. But they're all packing, of course, a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning and heavy rain. But it's not raining everywhere. The rain distribution is always uneven this time of the year, but at least a few folks are getting some beneficial rain from these storms today. And again, we are expecting Idalia to become a hurricane later today on the 4 o'clock advisory package. It just seems like the system is getting vertically stacked. Everything is lining up. And again, the forecast track probably will not change. Not expecting many changes in the 4 o'clock advisory. But everybody in that red zone there, the hurricane warning area, should be obviously making plans today, and I know they are. And the other thing is to listen to local evacuation orders. It's easy for me to sit here, 300 miles away in a dry, comfortable studio to say that. I know how hard it is, but again, life is a series of decisions, and you need to make good ones. And if you are under an evacuation order, the right thing to do is to heed those orders and get out. Because understand, right now, this is expected to be a Category 3 at the time of landfall, but we always tell people to plan for a category higher, to plan for a 4, in case it is a rapid intensification situation where it's stronger than the forecast here. And the surge forecast could increase. So again, we're hoping everybody, and one positive, I guess you could say here, that's a fairly sparsely populated part of the coast where the center comes in, but the impact will stretch down to the south, including Tampa Bay, and obviously that's the big population center in that hurricane warning zone. And again, efforts are going today to communicate with people and tell people what they need to do in these certain zones in there, and we hope everybody certainly heeds that advice. All right, so that'll do it for the afternoon update. Again, had a great time at Bluntsville today. Tomorrow, I got a senior adult group at Briarwood Presbyterian Church in Birmingham. On Wednesday, I'll be at Gaston School up around Gadsden in Etowah County. Thursday, going to Hackleburg Elementary School. Goodness, Hackleburg, as most of you remember, they were hit by that horrific EF5 tornado, April 27, 2011. Of course, they got a new school after that, but... and the younger kids don't have any memory of that, but boy, everybody else does, and they've all got stories to tell. And then Friday, Summerton Christian School in Walker County. That'll be a lot of fun. No book signing this Saturday. We'll pick it up a week from Saturday. But again, the college football starts. And again, for all the games in the Deep South on Saturday, it looks dry for the most part. Mostly dry conditions, a little warm, but hey, it's early September. It's supposed to be warm or hot that time of the year. For the high school games on Friday night, it looks pretty good as well. But I got to go do some television over here, and we invite you to watch us on the television side right across the hall in Studio A, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. If you're new here, we do these simulcasts twice a day, weekdays about 5:15 a.m. and 2:45 p.m., weekends as need be. Thanks for watching. Don't forget Weather Brains tonight. Weather dweebs, nerds, geeks, dorks, weenies. Our weekly show about weather. It'll be a fun show, and obviously we'll talk a lot about Idalia. That'll be at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on the Weather Brains YouTube channel, youtube.com/weatherbrains. And most people listen to the podcast version. That'll be hitting tomorrow morning. So thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.